I feel like this is all going to end with us going ahead and bringing Tyler Boyd back to the Bengals. Because he still is a free agent. And I know a lot of you guys been asking questions like, what's going on with Tyler Boyd? Why is he still a free agent? Is anyone going to sign him? Apparently not. The Pittsburgh Steelers is the top landing spot. Obviously, he grew up in Pittsburgh. He wants to be with the Steelers. But even then, according to sources, and as it says right here, some people, not all, inside the Steelers are not 100% on board with signing him. And now with them having a new quarterback in there, and that's going to be a whole thing, and potentially they could take a receiver with the 20th overall pick, and now there's reports that them might trade for Brandon Ayuk. Like, it seems like it's not going to happen. And the Jets were another team that was interested, but it seems like the Jets have kind of fallen off interest. The Chiefs were interested, but it seems like there's not mutual interest between them and Tyler Boyd. And the Steelers is a team he wants to go to, but according to reports, they're not interested that much. And it's very split decision in that building when it comes to signing Tyler Boyd or not. So this is going to get interesting. Now, of course, I think a lot of it is also how much money Tyler Boyd wants. My guess is he's not asking for a league minimum. He's probably asking for maybe like a 2-3 year contract, probably in the ballpark range of like 15-16 million. So, well, total. So like a 2-year, $8 million a year contract. And Pittsburgh's probably thinking to themselves, no, we're not going to give a guy who's almost 30 years old that much money. So I kind of think right now they're going back and forth on whether or not if Tyler Boyd will accept less money, if they'll go ahead and sign him or not. And I don't think Tyler Boyd's going to. I think Tyler Boyd's going to keep to his guns. He's going to stick to his guns here and say, hey, this is how much money I want. I want to be on this team, but this is at this price tag. So as we get closer and closer to the draft, right, we're going to learn more about the situation. And what I mean by that is if he doesn't sign by the draft, then he's definitely getting signed after the draft. And I'm not going to rule out the possibility that we end up signing him. Because usually what happens is after the draft's over, teams reassess their situation on, who they do have and who they don't have, what positions they need to fill, what players they think could help them. And that's when veterans like this go ahead and get signed or picked up very quickly. There is a second wave of free agency, as we would call it, after the draft. That is when, a lot of veterans get cut, a lot of veterans get picked up. It's actually, okay, I don't say after the draft, it's actually way after the draft. It's June 1st, the June 1st cut date. That's when a lot of veterans get picked up. And this is when players like, for example, Tyler Boyd could get picked up there, or he could get picked up right after the draft. So let's say you have a team, right, and you're like, hey, we didn't draft any wide receivers in this draft. We need help. The Chargers are a good example of that. If they don't take a wide receiver in this upcoming draft, they're going to look at the depth chart and say, we need help at the receiver position. Well, now Tyler Boyd can be that guy that fills in, right? So I'm not expecting him to get signed anytime soon, unless Cincinnati shocks the world and says, listen, we're interested in you. Let's make a deal happen. Unless that happens, I'm not expecting anyone else to sign him because I just don't think there are any teams interested in him. I mean, again, like I said, I know the Steelers were, but as it says in this article, they're not 100% on board. And when you have a 30-year-old wide receiver who wants a lot of money, and I know it's not that much compared to other receivers, but at the end of the day, it is a good amount. It's not league minimum. A lot of teams are going to be kind of hesitant about that. Now, here's the thing, right? And this is my theory. This is my idea. This is what I'm feeling. The only team that will sign him before this upcoming draft will be us. That's the only team that would sign him. I'm not saying we're going to. I'm saying that that's the only team that would actually go ahead and go sign him. If it's not us, then I think he will be signed after the draft. And my theory, my prediction here is he's going to get signed by a receiver, by a team that is not Pittsburgh. I know that's crazy to say, but I wouldn't be surprised if there's a draft night trade for Brandon Ayuk. And then the Steelers, when we have a very wide receiver friendly draft class, if the Steelers take 1 or 2 receivers in this upcoming draft. That's another thing that's really going against Tyler Boyd here, is the fact that this is a deep wide receiver class. There's a lot of great receivers in this upcoming draft class. So you have all those factors, plus you still have really, really good players on free agency still at the wide receiver position, you know, that other teams are going to be interested in. If I'm Tyler Boyd, in all honesty, I'm like, you hit free agency, right? You tried to see if anyone wanted you. You tried to work out a contract. If I'm Tyler Boyd right now, I'm thinking, you know what? I'm 30, I'm up there in age. I'm going to go back to Cincinnati. I'm going to sign a 1-year contract, and I'm going to have a fantastic year. I'm going to play my butt off, play amazing, and then go get big payday after that. And I would hit the market again at 31, which is older, but then I most likely be able to get signed right away because next year's free agency class, receiver-wise, shouldn't be that crazy. And also the draft class next year, receiver-wise, shouldn't be that crazy either. But other than that, there's really nothing else I could see Tyler Boyd doing. Because, like, he's in the worst spot possible for a free agent. When you're in that kind of ballpark range of there's other options that might be better than you or equal to you. And also, the draft's coming up. And if a team, you know, you want to go to Steelers, they might draft players that you're not going to get now. I mean, that they're not going to go for you now. The Chiefs, they went ahead and got Hollywood Brown. They're probably not going to go for you now. The Jets, you know, they got their receiving core figured out now. So, it's a mess. I'm wishing the best for Tyler Boyd. If he wants to come back to Cincinnati, I'm not against the idea. But I will say, and this is not my personal opinion, this is based on what I know with the Bengals, you're going to have to take a lot less money. You're going to have to take a lot less money, and you can come back here and play with Joe, but you're going to take a lot less money. So that's a situation that he's going to have to figure out by himself, right? And I think in the end, he'll make whatever the best decision is for him and his family. And I think that's ultimately the best decision possible. But I'll be interested to see how this ends up working out. Because, you know, it's ironic because I was actually, in my head, right, I thought he was going to get signed right away when free agency dropped. Not like the first day, but I thought he was going to get signed within the first couple of days. Because he's still a good receiver. I mean, he's not bad. It's just, again, everything that could work against him is working against him. Good wide receiver draft class. Deep wide receiver draft class. Good free agency wide receiver class. Teams, like this one team wants to go to the Steelers. They're getting a new quarterback situation figured out. They just offloaded Deontay Johnson. You know, there's all these red flags and problems, and we're sitting here like, come on back. We'll forgive you for leaving, and we'll love you again. Something like that, man. Peace out.